Welcome back. So far we've talked about three theories of how the rock carving came to be here in Westford, Massachusetts. The first, if you recall, was that it was of a Native American chief put there by the local tribe in the area. And so therefore, no European connection can be made.
The second theory talks about how the carving could be of a likeness of Sir James Gunn, Scottish Knight Templar, and friend of Prince Henry Sinclair of the Orkney Islands, also possibly a Knight Templar. Based on Sinclair clan family stories, Henry Sinclair made his way to North America using ancient Viking maps in order to move and hide the Templar treasure, including the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant. In the third theory, a voyage of a European explorer is detailed according to the famous Zeno narrative, and how this European explorer finds his way to the unknown lands west of Greenland in search of riches. Later, some theorists have speculated that the famous European explorer described in the Zeno narrative was in fact Prince Henry Sinclair. In this theory, we saw that the possible real reason for Sinclair's expedition to North America was to discover the rich fishing grounds that were in ancient Viking stories, in what is now the Grand Banks and George's Banks off of Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and New England, in order to make lots of money in the European fishing trade. Remember, Sinclair was in the commercial fishing business back in Scotland. And to me, this theory is the most believable because it involves a basic human motivation: greed. In any case, we have established that Henry Sinclair's expedition made it to Nova Scotia, where he makes contact with the local native Micmac tribe. This is where the stories of theories 2 and 3 converge, no matter which of them you believe. So, this is why and how I think Sinclair and Gunn made it to Westford. The story goes something like this. During his exploration of Nova Scotia, Sinclair discovers an incredible abundance of fish and game, enough to make him a very wealthy man. But this was not enough. According to the Nova Scotian Micmac tribe's oral history, stories were told to Sinclair that described further incredible riches in fish, game, and timber, all controlled by a powerful Native American tribe located to the south and near the mouth of a great river. Some theorists believe that when Sinclair saw how abundant Nova Scotia alone was in game and fishing, and then realizing how much more wealth he might acquire, Sinclair hatched a plan to take a small exploratory party with him to explore this rich territory to the south and make contact with this powerful native tribe, with hopes of establishing a trade agreement. So the Sinclair party sets off and they follow the coastline of Nova Scotia, cross the Bay of Fundy, and then follow the present-day coastlines of New Brunswick, Maine, and New Hampshire south in order to locate the mouth of this great river, with hopes of making contact with this fabled native tribe. And as most explorers of this era did when exploring uncharted coastlines, they mapped and ventured up major rivers to reconnoiter the quality and usefulness of the land. It was during one of these explorations when it is believed the Sinclair party finally located the entrance to the great river mentioned by the Micmacs. We know it today as the Merrimack River. As they did not make any immediate contact or discover any local Native Americans at the mouth of the river, as they had been told, Sinclair decided to push inland following the river towards the west, with hopes of finally making contact with the great local Native American tribe.
It's been speculated that they traveled 35 miles up the Merrimack River until they were halted near present-day Lowell, Massachusetts. They were halted by a formidable waterfall that the ships could not circumvent.
And in order to get some kind of geographical bearings of where they might be, they spotted a relatively large hill not too far off in the distance, which is this hill, located here at present-day Westford. Now on foot, they followed the shoreline of the Merrimack River until they stumbled upon the entrance to the Stony Brook River, which seemed to run in the direction of the hill they were making for. So they forged up the river until they reached the bottom of that hill. This is what the area looks like today. It was a steep climb, but they pushed forward and ascended the hill. Today, this area is heavily settled, and the roads are thick with traffic. It is hard to imagine this area as heavily forested with very few people around. But in 1398, or possibly 1399, this route is believed to have been followed by the Sinclair expedition. So what happens when they climb the hill? Does Sinclair make contact with the great Native American tribe? And how does Sir James Gunn meet his end? Questions that will be answered when you check out Part 7 of the Westford Night. If you've liked what you've been watching, please hit like or subscribe to keep up with new episodes. Thanks for watching.